Now, is it hard to get a visa? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I can tell you that there are 103,000 Indian students in the US right now. I can tell you that the acceptance rate and the approval rate for visas is extremely high. But better than giving you an answer to that, why don't I just go through and we'll talk about the process. So the US has a policy. It's called Open Doors and Secure Border. Open Doors, Secure Border policy. And we welcome legitimate students from around the world. We have people studying in the US for short programs that are a couple weeks. We have people studying in PhD programs that seem to go on for decades. But we have people from all over the US studying in all 50 states. What Open Doors Secure Border means for you is that there's paperwork involved in the process and that it can take a little bit of time. So you won't be able to get admitted to the university and get your visa the next day, most likely. There are a few steps in the process. You just need to have time to do it. So what does Anjali have to do to get a visa? Here's the visa application process. Isn't that a great color? Wow. We're going to have to change that. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you'll request an I-20 from your university. Now, this process, again, you don't necessarily need to write it down. It's on our website. We can give you a sheet that has some of this information also. That's point number one. Point number two, in this section, in just this visa section of this presentation, because I work for the government, we like to name things with great sounding names, like letters and numbers. So I'm going to use a bunch of those in this presentation. You don't really need to know those. They actually have human names also. These are just how we refer to these forms. So you don't need to remember these names. That's point two. Point three, specific to this. So an I-20 is a form that your university will give you when you're admitted to the university. And it's going to have on there your name, what the program is you're going to. It'll have the duration of the program, so how many months your program is. And it'll say when you're starting that program, when the university wants you to arrive on campus. In many situations, you don't have to request it. The university knows that they need to provide it to you, and when you get your admission letter from the university, you will also receive your I-20. If, for whatever reason, they don't put it in the envelope, or they don't get it to you, you should need to double check with them. The universities know what this is. If they don't know what it is, it means you're probably talking to the wrong person at the university. They have another office that deals with it. But somebody at the university knows what this is. So you'll get your I-20 from the university. Now this is happening after you've been admitted, after you've already been admitted to the university. Once you have that I-20, you're going to complete a DS-160, which in human terms is known as a visa application. So you're going to go on our website, you're going to fill out a visa application. So this is two steps. You're going to go on to this one website, you're going to create a user account, you'll go to this other website, you'll fill out the visa application. We have a sheet that can give you this information. It's also on our website online, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. This is pretty standard. You can go on there and you can fill it out. Then you'll pay your fee. So this is the standard visa application fee. And you can pay this numerous places at a number of banks and bank machines around here. You're going to schedule 2 appointments. So the first appointment that you'll come for is a biometric appointment. That's where we're just going to take a picture of you, we'll get your fingerprints. Somebody there will probably also just ask you a couple questions to make sure that you're ready to come in for your visa appointment. So we'll make sure that everything is in order. And then on another day, you'll come in for your visa interview at the consulate if you're here in Mumbai, or you can go to the other consulates that we have, or if you're in Delhi, you'll go to our embassy. It's the same process everywhere. You'll schedule it on our website, and you'll show up and come to the appointment. And then you're going to make sure that you've paid this other fee. It's called the SEVIS fee. So again, SEVIS, because we like to name things. This is an acronym. Don't have to worry about it. Universities know what this is. It's a program where all of the universities in the US register the students they have coming from overseas to help facilitate the process of making sure your visa application can be processed and you can travel to the US without a problem. There's a fee to do that. You go onto this website, you'll pay that fee. So far you've got one form from the university, you went online, you filled out an application, you scheduled 2 appointments, you paid 2 fees. And then you come in for the interview. So the interview is usually about 2 to 3 minutes. It's pretty quick. That is an average, so sometimes it's longer, but sometimes it's quicker. The reason it's fairly quick is because we've already done a lot of work on your application before you show up. So we already have your information, it's already in our system. Beyond that, we already know that you have the SEVIS paid, we already know about the I-20, you've already been admitted to the university, you've already figured out where you're going to go, why you want to do it, how you're going to pay for it. So really, you're just showing up here to give us your passport and to answer a couple questions and explain what you're doing. Which if you've gone through the process of figuring out effectively what you want to do with your life, this shouldn't be challenging. You just need to tell us in a couple minutes what you want to do with your life and why it involves going to the US. We really are mostly looking for people that are honest and can answer the questions. So just be ready to answer questions about yourself. I know some people don't like to talk about themselves. This is not a time to avoid talking about yourself. We want to know that you're ready for your education. Most of the time you can demonstrate that by the fact that you have applied to the school and been admitted. You're financially capable of paying for the trip. There's no one way that we ask people to prove that. There are a lot of things we might look for, but you need to be admitted to the university and you need to have a way to pay for it. And then that you plan to appropriately use your student visas, that you're actually going to study. And that's it. You made it. We're done. We're not done with the presentation. We're done with the visa process. 5 minutes? 5 minutes. So if your visa is approved, the officer is going to retain your passport. We're going to get it back to you in a few days. We'll put the visa in there, we'll get it back to you. And you'll get an email or an SMS. Now, that usually takes about 3 to 5 days. When we have a high season, it can get much busier. So we try to encourage people to not buy a flight to the US until you have your passport with your visa in it. Because the last thing I want to have happen is for you to miss your flight because there was a delay in the process.